roll.
All right.
The floor is mine.
Yep. The floor is yours. The floor belongs to John Suscovich, Farm Marketing Solutions, in our sponsor spotlight here this afternoon. So take it away, John.
So in my best attempt to duplicate myself, I gave my presentation to a camera, and I'm going to play that video. It's about 20 minutes, and I will be in the chat room answering your questions as it goes. The notes and PowerPoint I sent to Mike, and it's also as a PDF download on my exhibitor booth. So if you want links to the few pieces of equipment that I mentioned, they're going to be in those places. I'm around in chat for Q&A, and then I'll be back live after I share my screen. And hopefully this all works. All right.
All right, as I just said, this is going to be as brief as possible, and all the notes are available as a PDF download from my exhibitor booth and as part of the slides available in Hoover for the APPPA conference this year. In this, we're going to cover inexpensive equipment, the basics of a good photo, building photography into your on-farm routine, editing and uploading those photos, which is super important, getting the most from your farm photos, the obvious places to use your pictures, guerrilla marketing hacks. Please stop doing this. And if you stick around for this presentation and only get the please stop doing this best practices part of it, that's totally worthwhile. And then measuring your success. So moving on, inexpensive equipment. Level 1 is just a smartphone. Smartphones do amazing things these days. They take amazing photographs. People have built car commercials, full-length movies, photo campaigns, all from iPhones, Droids, Google Pixel. Use a smartphone, use the benefits of modern technology, and it will make everything easier for you once you get past that initial hump of the learning curve. If you are shooting video, and this section is specifically for Pat McNiff, who asked me for this information 1 year ago at the last Pastured Poultry conference. If you want to take better video, a $20 tripod, a $60 lavalier microphone, and a $10 1/8-inch TRS extension to go for the lav, and then some kind of adapter to make sure this microphone goes to your cell phone. All of those things, having stable video, good audio, will make up for everything else. If you want to do quick video updates to have for your email list, for your blog, for your website, if you want to do video, here's some video of me talking without the lavalier microphone with guts making noise in the background. And now here's some video of me with the microphone, and you can clearly hear the difference without the microphone, with the microphone. So file storage, this is a big thing. Take more photographs. File storage has gotten so cheap and so simple and so easy that instead of the roll of film with 30 photographs, you can take thousands of photographs, and it's just super cheap to store it. So you can either upgrade your cloud storage through whatever you are using, or you can go and buy one of these. And in this little package, there's this guy, which is the size of a credit card. It's a solid state hard drive, 1 terabyte, that you can find it on B&H Photo, bhphoto.com. Again, links at the end of all of this. You can get the 1 terabyte for $162, 500 gigs, which is more than you need, for $80, or 2 terabytes for $230. If you think about the time and research that you put into your plucker, external file storage and what you're going to get out of it is just cheap, and so it should be a no-brainer, and you'll see why in the coming slides. Now, how to take a great photograph. You got to fart. You got to fart. I love fart jokes. I keep my information light and funny and available, and I stole this from Ken Rockwell at kenrockwell.com. When you're taking pictures on farm, you're going to fart. You're going to feel something. You're going to walk around your farm with your photograph. You're going to grab a beer, grab a cup of coffee in the morning. Hopefully you're not drinking beer in the morning. I own a brewery, which is why I mentioned beer. Feel something. I love raising chickens on pasture. I love seeing the birds attack the bugs and the grass and the legumes and broadleaf stuff and ripping off chunks. And there's something to that that just resounds in my heart. And I want to share that out with the world. I want to scream it from the mountaintop. You feel something on farm. Otherwise, why are you here? We're all doing this because we are passionate about what we do. Then ask yourself, what is it about that scene that you walked up into physically on your farm that made you feel that? Is it you're standing back from your chicken tractors and you're seeing your house in the background and the chicken tractors and the beautiful dawn or the sunset, because chores happen at all times during the day? Ask yourself what you're feeling then that you would want to convey to somebody else if only someone was there with a freaking camera to take a picture. Then refine it. If you were going to take a picture about that emotional part of your life, is it, if we experience, I'm 5'10" feet tall, if we experience everything through life this way, this is boring, right? This field of vision. Take your camera and put it up high, put it down low, put it down on the ground so you see the chickens in the grass, and then you got the chicken tractors behind them and your barn, or you take it up high, or you're lucky enough to have a drone or have a friend with a drone photo to take that photograph. Figure out how to convey the message of what you are doing with one still picture in time, and that you're going to share with somebody else. The beautiful thing about what I do is that I see the world in a different way than other people do. And I've taken advantage of the tools. This is a point and shoot camera. This is my cell phone. I'm talking on a big expensive camera right now. I am able to take these devices, these tools, a wrench, a hammer, and capture that moment in time and share it with other people. And I share my experience so passionately that I've able to build a platform around it. I've been able to build multiple businesses around it. And I have a following of people who want to hear more about how much I love what I do. You love what you do, capture that and share it with other people. So you felt something, you asked yourself what that was. You refined it by saying, what if I look at my chicken tractor from up here? What if I look at them from down here? What if I look at them from the right, from the left? Where's the sun right now? Where's the light and the shadow? How do I balance all of that out? And take some time, do some linger grazing, observe your birds, watch what they're doing. And then when you go, oh, that was cool, either you'll take a photograph of that, or you'll recognize what that situation is and how it is recreated in the future. And you'll take a photograph of that. And that's something you have to share with your Facebook, your Instagram, with your website, your social media, your email newsletter, your website, whatever the case may be. You can share your passion with somebody else through capturing that moment in time with photography. And then the easiest, stupidest, dumbest part of this is all taking that photo, hitting the shutter button on your cell phone, on your camera. I have worked in photography for years. I've worked in media for years. It's what my college degree is in. I have friends who are professional photographers, and a lot of it right now, everybody's taking pictures on the automatic settings. What's important is taking the picture. Don't worry about the ISO or the aperture or the shutter speed, because the camera will take care of that for you. And a lot of the modern technology makes it very easy to take pretty decent photos. And all you have to do is be there. The hardest part is being there and taking the photograph. Don't worry about the technology. The best camera that you have possible, and I can tell you this without a doubt, the best camera out there is the one that you have on you at the time that you need to take the photograph, because you're experiencing something that you love and you want to share it with somebody else. So all that to say, I was able to sponsor a professional conference, give a presentation, and then make a fart joke, and that is fantastic. So the basics of a good photo is that it exists. It is something that you actually have. I'm a man of many phrases. One of the phrases that I like the most is that the faintest ink is better than the sharpest memory. That if you're tracking how much grit you gave your birds, how much feed you gave your birds, how many eggs your birds laid this month, when you moved to what pasture, what you did soil tests on all those pastures. Those are all documentation of your farm. Your photography is not different at all. you're taking a lot of photographs, you're storing them on your external hard drive, and you have a photo documentary of your farm that you can share with people. And that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to be able to show your kids that. And that, to me, is heartfelt and amazing. So it exists. And then it tells a story. It's useful. You farted. You felt something. You asked what you felt. You refined it, and then you took that picture, and you're able to tell a story with that photograph, whatever that story is that you're telling on your website. It has a point of interest. It's not a picture of just, hey, look at all this stuff. It is a, like, here is a chicken eating grass. Here are my chicken tractors out of my farm. Here is the chicken tractor. And in front of the picture, you'll see the salad bar for the next day and the manure that they're leaving behind, and that they're leaving for the soil and the soil life and the microbiome that lives underneath what is visibly available to us. All of that exists within this photograph, and you're able to take this one picture and give an entire presentation about it. That is amazing. It tells a story and it is useful. It has a point of interest. It gets used, which means that it doesn't languish in a hard drive or on a computer or on a cell phone. It goes out on your social media. And just because you posted it to Instagram doesn't mean you can post it. It doesn't mean you can't post it to your email, your website. When humans, if they see something new as a creature, as an animal, something new is scary. Something they've seen a bunch of times is comforting. So if you use that same photo, that same body of content, that same series of photos over and over again in your email newsletters and your social medias, your website, as your printed materials, people are going to start to recognize your style of photography, the narrative that you're trying to tell, and that it becomes a part of your brand that is very valuable when it comes time to your farm marketing. And then it gets shared. Again, everything I just said just gets used and gets shared, kind of fits in the same thing, but I didn't spend a lot of time on this PowerPoint slide, so we're going to move on. Building photo habits into your farm. Now, building it into your farm chores. This is $20. And the one that I linked to in this PowerPoint presentation on the PDF on Whova comes with a cell phone mount and a GoPro mount for $20 freaking dollars. It's aluminum, it's plastic. You can leave it with each batch of chickens. You can buy 5 of these and spend $100 and get one that straps to your tractor, one that straps to your farm truck, one that's in your farm store, one that's in the field, and one that you carry around like a Rambo, utility belt, and make use of it. I've done all of these things, and it is possible. It's cheap to make this stuff accessible to you. Think of all the points when you're moving your chicken tractor and what the chickens are doing. Before you move them, there's yesterday's manure, the grass is flat, they're out of feed. When you move them, they're on the fresh grass, they're eating bugs, they're excited and moving around. Great time to take photographs of the birds eating pasture and adding value. That's what value we are adding as producers. And then you feed out, and you're feeding out organic, non-GMO feed, locally sourced feed, whatever your situation allows for. But if you're telling the story of grass, you take the picture when you move them and they're eating the grass. Then you feed out on chores, and the birds go whoom, and they go into the feeder and they're eating that grass. And you want to tell the story of them eating the feed and the non-GMO, and then, you can discuss the rest of what goes into raising your birds, and then your processing and moving at the end. You cannot take pictures of processing. We're going to skip over for our marketing processing and go right into the end product and how beautiful it is and how the customer is going to interact with it. And those are all things to photograph along the way and use to help you tell your story down the road. And then dedicating time to it, building it into part of your chores, saying that I am a professional, I am a business owner, and I need to market my product. And in order to do that, I need better visuals, and either I'm going to spend the time myself to capture those visuals, or I'm going to work with an apprentice, a farm employee, or somebody who's a CSA member, a market member, whatever, who is an amateur or professional photographer to help me capture and tell my story encourage them, barter. Hey, I'll give you a couple chickens if you take a bunch of photos and send them to me. There is a lot of ways to make this happen. Editing and uploading with the cell phone. Take this phone and then take the picture, and then in the photo say edit, and then when you edit that photo, a lot of times there's an automatic settings button. It is on the iPhone. I don't know what it is for Android phones, but you can hit autocorrect essentially. I do this on my big fancy computer as well, and it automatically kind of adjusts things, and generally that's all you need. And then you crop it, and either crop it to a 1:1 ratio square or a 5:7, and that is generally all you need to make your farm photos a lot nicer. I will do more farm editing stuff in the future to show you some examples, but I've had to edit this conversation and presentation down to fit within a 30-minute time frame. So we're going to blow right past it. But the automatic settings in your editor, the difference between a good photo and a great photo often is 2 minutes of opening it, saying automatic edit, let me straighten it out a little bit and get rid of some of the excess information, all the excess space on the photo, and crop it into my point of interest. And that will make the world of difference for you in your photography. Now, obvious places to post: your farm website, your social media, and your email newsletter. These are all easy places to share your photography. Your farm website, your social media, and your email newsletter. Different strategies for each one, and we go over these on my website, farmmarketingsolutions.com. But with your farm website, you want to tell your narrative. You're not saying how much I feed my birds, how much protein they get at what week, whatever. People want to know the birds are happy, they are healthy, they're getting fresh air and sunshine, they're getting fresh grass, they're off of yesterday's poop and on to tomorrow's salad bar. They are shifting down that pasture, and that is the value that you are adding as a producer when you are doing these things. On your social media, you are sharing that story. Think about fun topics, your kids on the farm, baby chicks. Don't talk a lot about the death and destruction that comes in farm, but keep it light, happy, and appealing to the person who wants to make more informed food choices. In your email newsletter, you can't always put a lot of photography or video in there, but what you can do is put a video up on YouTube. You can put a blog post with 5 to 7 photographs of a snapshot of your farm in season once a month, and then write a blog post about it and say, July farm update, 5 to 7 photos with 100 words per photo. Gives you a good format. And then in your email newsletter, you say, hey, everybody, we're going to be at the Jonestown Farmers Market this weekend. And, you know, if you want to know more about how we raise our birds, here's actually our July farm blog update. And link to that in your email newsletter. Keep your email newsletter short, to the point, and links for more reading will get you pretty far. Guerrilla marketing techniques, or places that you would use outside of the obvious places. I have trifold farm brochures that I had for CSA signups, where it had a sign up as one of the trifold, but it also had pictures of my farm, me farming, and the chickens that I was producing. Educational snippets of pictures of the chickens on farm, recipes. Once you take a still photograph of the birds on pasture and then your birds after they're processed and what the product looked like, so that the person's going to get, and then after it's cooked, after they've successfully produced that bird for themselves, that is usable in so many different places that I've talked about in my books, on the website, and I can't fit into this presentation because I'm limited by time. So please stop doing this. With your farm photos, it is not your personal photo feed. I don't care that your kids play baseball. I just don't care. I don't care that you do all this stuff with your family. Excessive family photos. Family photos only apply when your kids are moving your freaking chickens or in your chicken tractors on your farm to tell the narrative of your farm products in a better way. I don't care that your kids play baseball. Please stop it. Don't use it as your personal stream of consciousness. Use it to tell the narrative of your product in a way that is personable and relatable without all the other nonsense. Don't be a complainer. Farm life is hard. It stinks. Things die. It rains. No one wants to hear about the weather on their social media feed. When customers are coming to you, they're coming to you for escape and release and feel good. And I want to feel good about what I'm filling my belly with. And I want to hear about how awesome your farm is and how good you're doing, and everything is awesome. Unnecessary ninja is what I call the person who is talked about how you raise chickens, where your farm is located, where you can buy, but I don't know who you are. There's not a picture of you, not a picture of you and your family if that's important to you, but there's no story or backstory on who I am buying my farm food from. The USDA spent a ton of money on know your farmer, know your food. Let's piggyback on that and actually know your farmer. Share your name, your story, and why people would connect with you. 500 words, 2 to 3 photographs on the About Me section of your website, just so that when people are like, you know, I buy from John Suscovich because he quit an entire other lucrative career to get into chicken farming because he freaking loves it and he wants more people to eat healthy and nutritious food. And that is all they need to know. We're going to cover selfies and future content and farm marketing solutions, so you can subscribe to my YouTube channel or my email list, or just visit my exhibitor booth and sign up for my raffle that gets you on the email list. This is the one photo of myself that in 10 years I actually like, and I've taken thousands of photographs of myself, and I've paid people to take photos of me. This is the one that I like, but we're not going to cover it today. Measuring success. So on social media, likes mean nothing. It doesn't matter. All you want is one like. You know, that's enough. I would rather have 100 customers who pay me $1,000 a year than 1,000 customers who pay me $1 a year. One of those business strategies makes me $100,000, and the other one makes me $1,000. You know, if you are very popular online, but there's no meat, there's no substance behind your presence, it gets you nowhere. And when there's meat and substance, but you're only getting a few likes and subscribes, you're treating your social media and your web presence to service the relationships, outsource the servicing of your relationships, that you don't have the time to physically call up every single person on your email or your CSA list and have a personal conversation with them. You're taking your farm photography and telling that story and then sharing it to your core group of followers, which should be and can be and will be smaller than you would expect. You want more money from fewer people instead of a very little bit amount of money from a lot of people. I'm willing to have more conversation on this, but again, restricted by time. Study your demographics. Who are you reaching? Why are you reaching them? And what do they need? And how do you best serve them? You're going to be able to do this through Google Analytics and applying that to your site and your various social platforms and connecting everything outside of the scope of this conversation. And I'm happy to have more conversation with it on the Whova app. But the very basics, even though Google is the evil devil company, they do provide some very valuable resources for us to be able to track the people who are visiting us, analyze who's coming, who's buying, and then better make decisions on how we run our business based off of analytics and data. You don't want to feel like you're doing a good job. You want to know that you're doing a good job. If you're going to track how much grit, how much feed, how much weight gain, how many eggs you're going to get, if you're going to track all this stuff on farm, it translates online. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but I know that you can do it. And with Farm Marketing Solutions, I will help you accomplish that. All right, that's it for the video recording. If you want to ask me questions, we're going to continue with some Q&A. You can also find me at my exhibitor or sponsor booth and hit me up on the chat. My email is also john@farmmarketingsolutions.com. The slides and the notes and the links for all of this will be available there. And until next time, I'll see you out in the field.
All right, how'd I do? It was 5 takes to get it even that short, and like a couple hours of editing because I tend to talk way too much. So it was my best effort. I
Thunderous applause.
I breezed through a lot of stuff there, especially with gear analytics, general philosophy. But as I talk to more farmers or ask people for photos of their farm, and they're like, I don't have a lot of photos of my farm. Building it, I think one of the standout points in this is building it into your chore routine, that you have specific points as your regular chores where you stop and take 5 photographs. You know, it could be the same picture, but you're taking it 5 different ways to get one that works. So when you're sitting on the toilet later looking at your phone, you pick out the one that works, you edit it, and then you share it with somebody, either your entire audience, a few core customers, or ship it over to your computer so you can send it over to your website or email newsletter. The reason why I'm able to put so much content online is because I always have a camera on me, and I'm not afraid to take just garbage photographs. Like I have over 100,000 or more photographs on this external hard drive, and then video as well. Some of them are really, really bad. And none of you will ever see them. And some of them are pretty good. And it's the good that we focus on, putting our best foot forward. And yeah, one of the questions I had early on that wasn't shared with everybody is that in a real farm setting, you have ugly, dirty parts of your farm or things that you don't want to show. Part of my pasture rotation is putting the birds in places where it's beautiful to photograph them to help me tell my story. It also has to do with all the other factors that we talk about at a conference like this. But you know, with greenwashing, if you look at Vital Farms marketing materials, they're down low, chicken on grass. That one day that the birds were out on pasture, they took that one candid photograph. For us, zooming out and showing your birds in your field, showing the angle of your field that doesn't show like I got a big propane tank and a bunch of empty containers, and there's always for some reason a stack of broken pallets, things that you might not necessarily want to show everybody. You can occasionally to show like farm life is real, but finding the angles on your farm, the times of day where the sun is the most beautiful, to show that information. We spend a lot of time watching our birds, watching the ground. So something to build into your habits is finding the beautiful side of your farm that makes you feel something when we're doing our FART, and capturing that moment. And then because you know that the chickens always look better in the morning on that early morning light as things are slowly getting brighter instead of getting darker in the afternoon or in the evening, that's the time you want to take photos. Or at the end of the day, the sunset always looks really beautiful. It casts it in a golden light. You're relaxed. You've done most of your things for the day. You feel like you can spend some more time with your birds and do some lingering around your chicken tractors. That's the time to have a cup of coffee, grab a beer, glass of wine, glass of water, and just spend some time observing. We're doing this anyways as responsible poultry growers. I'm telling you, put something in your hand to capture that moment and share it with somebody. Even when you're building the habits, one of the things that works well for me is that I take the pictures and I share them with a core group of friends before I put them out for any marketing things. So it's like pre-marketing to show them like, does this picture look good? Do you really like it? Does it make them go, oh, wow, that was really nice? Or they're like, well, what about this? Or it's kind of crooked, or your teeth look weird in that picture, John, or I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. But I pre-market to my core friend group. And that gets me past the kind of like social anxiety of sharing a piece of work that I've created. And then once I've gotten that feedback loop, I'm like, all right, I'm confident enough now that I can share this with a bigger group of individuals. Got some questions. Do you use a revolving list of subjects hit for social media to build expectation and brand? Sometimes I'll go out with purpose where I need to capture a product shot, or I've been writing a blog post and I can't find, for whatever reason, a picture of a chicken tractors in a certain way, or the volume of birds that I'm doing this year. And I will then go out with intent and I write on a notepad or have it on my phone as a to-do list, a shot list of things that I need to create. I also do product photography for the brewery. So I work with my partners on a week-to-week basis where I do weekly product shots and post them to our social media as well. So I have a lot of recurring things that I schedule in. But then there's times what's most rewarding to me is saying, I have 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes today. I'm going to go for a walk on my farm because it's beautiful and I love it. And I'll be like, oh, how can I talk about the chicken tractors? Well, they're better 100 feet over there than they are right here. Let me go over there. And I raise my camera above my head and I take a picture so I get a down shot, or I go down on the ground and get that grass building up to the chicken tractors and building some interest into your photos.
All right. Thank you, John. We're going to have to stick a fork in it there.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, you're good. You're right at time. So thank you so much. As John mentioned, check him out. Say hi. He's a sponsor this year. Stepped up his game. So